Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Welcome to the latest episode of Campaign Crusades. I am Alec J. Wolf. I am your Dungeon Master. I am here with my Crusaders. We've got Morgan Le Fay.
What up?
Jake Baker.
Hey.
Clara Copoletta. Andrew Hickman.
Howdy, y'all.
Joe Thomas.
Salutations.
Emily Kreider.
Hey.
And clearly no one else. No, I'm kidding. Brian Thomas.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hi.
That's how it's going to be tonight.
We were about to throw hands.
You threw me off guard. I didn't have a
So,
witty line.
where we left off last week, our adventurers found their way finally into Darkvoid, the Plane of Shadows, where they are searching for and have just found Alina Grandier. Having followed Ria's trail, they have been on their way to find this woman to learn more, though they have no idea what she knows. As they arrived in Darkvoid, however, Bo manifested back into his shadow form, being innately dead from the start, and has been whisked back to the City of Nowhere, where all the great shadows live. So we're going to hop right back into things. We're not going to waste any time, as we return now to the latest episode of our adventure of the Race for Rivaryn.
Dun dun dun.
Okay, and we are back in Darkvoid. We are going to start immediately traveling to Nowhere, the City of the Great Shadows. Traveling down the street towards a spire in the dead center of the city. The streets of the city being a spiral going inward towards this spire. Traveling down this winding street, we find Bo in shadow form, following a mysterious shadow in a cowboy hat.
Yeehaw.
Bo, you do not know the name of this shadow. You do not know the name of the other shadow you are meeting with. You've always known them as the Governor's Boy and the Gunslinger, and they've always known you simply as the Engineer. As you walk forth, what's going through Bo's mind?
Well, that could have gone better. But I guess we're here, so might as well try and find the answers we need.
And is Bo saying anything, or just walking silently?
Right now he's just walking silently, just trying to figure out his next steps.
Alright, so you walk in silence following the Gunslinger, eventually arriving at this great spire in the center of the city. To anyone else, it would feel like you've been walking for hours. But you being Shadow, it doesn't feel like time has passed at all. Time is hard when you're a Shadow, even if you have been back on Earth having manifested a mortal form. When you're in your Shadow form, it still feels hard. Especially when there's no sun in Darkvoid. And you make it to the spire. There is a great wooden door of pure black wood at the bottom of the spire. You've been in here before. The Gunslinger leads you in through this door, and you go up a large staircase, a spiral staircase, interspersed with platforms where there are doors to several floors. You walk up to what must be the 599th floor, being Shadow, that does not affect you energy-wise, and you walk into a room. There is a windowed room with a beautiful view of the City of Nowhere and the fields of Darkvoid and the Plane of Shadows beyond. There is a small table in the room right now. This room can be anything the person who possesses it wants it to be. Right now, it seems to just be a simple, small room with a circular table with 3 chairs, 2 facing one side, 1 facing the other side. Sitting in one of the chairs at the table is a younger-looking Shadow. Shadow who looks not 18, 19, 20-something. Possibly even Kai's age, who's sitting down and gives you a courteous nod as the gunslinger takes a seat beside him and they nod for you to take the chair in front of them.
Yeah, I sit down and say, pleasant to see you again.
The governor's boy gives you a smile and says, "It's good to see you too." The gunslinger goes, "Look, we know you don't like small talk. Let's get into business. You are in hot water right now with the King of Shadows."
Is the king back at? I'm forgetting what it's called. Shoot.
He
Well,
doesn't
it
even wait for you to finish the sentence. He goes, "Yeah, the king's in Darkvoid, all right."
I'm guessing he knows I'm back.
I don't know if he knows you're back yet, but he's not happy. And the DM is about to sneeze. Never mind, I think I'm good. The governor's boy looks at you and goes, "Look, we know it, you know it. The way you went back to Galia was not legal in the eyes of the King of Shadows. He doesn't care about good or evil. He cares about the law of life and death. What you did not follow the proper cycle of life and death and rebirth. You skipped town somehow, and he's not happy."
Well, there was gonna be no other way I was gonna get back, so I did what I had to do.
The gunslinger looks at you and goes, "We know, and we understand. We fully support you. You know that we would have done the same things if we didn't, if we needed to. Fortunately, we had other people who were fighting the same fight. For you, it was very different. You did not know that there was anyone else fighting this fight when you went back. But the King of Shadows is still upset, and here's the thing. I'm afraid you're going to get some serious punishment for this. It violated every law of life and death."
I guess it's coming no matter what.
Look, I'm
guess
a
I'll take
lawman
it.
myself. You know that. I was a deputy for a long time. I'm happy to help you and represent you in the court of the King of Shadows. And then he widens his eyes and he looks down, and the governor's boy looks at you and goes, "We didn't want to be the ones to tell you this, but he is demanding that when you return, you attend a hearing for sentence for your crime."
Suppose there's no way of getting around that. Yeah, I would definitely appreciate your help there.
And the gunslinger nods and goes, "We've got some time to plan. He doesn't know you're back yet, but he will sense you very soon when that happens. We have a trial to go to. In the meantime, I guess the best we can do is figure out what we're going to do and see how we can make sure that you're not trapped to a fate of being mindless, shapeless in the fields of the Plane of Shadows."
All ears to any ideas you got.
Because I know that is death, but when you are already dead, that is a fate worse than death. And we are going to cut away as the governor's boy, the gunslinger, and the engineer begin their process of discussing the strategy. We travel now miles and miles away from nowhere in the fields of sand, these great black dunes of Darkvoid. A spire towers out of the ground towards the sky. Climbing up this spire at the moment, full speed ahead, is our friendly lemur Coco, being followed by the rest of the party. As
Do I
way
need
up
to make
on this
some sort
spire,
of check?
not yet. As way up on this spire is this beautiful ashwood, circular hut, tree hut, for lack of a better phrase. Tree house, tree hut, whatever you want to call it. With a balcony, and on the balcony right now, smiling down, is a woman. Looks to be about 50-something, late 50s. Aged well. She is looking down at everyone with a smile. Dark hair. Wearing what appears to be a black toga of some kind. It is pinned up very well. There's like a beautiful belt around it. Goes beautifully around one shoulder. Hair is pinned back into a tight ponytail. There's almost a brief moment where it seems like this person is an adult Adira, but it's clearly not Adira or adult Adira. It's clearly not someone who looks like Adira. It's just, it seems like it's someone who as a child behaved the way Adira does and had the same outlook on life. And followed by... Adira is directly behind Coco. Coco rushes up and makes it up into the hut first. And you all are climbing up. As you are climbing up, I need a wisdom save from Indrova.
Okay. Oh, good gracious. Dice. Do I get anything at all by chance?
Nope.
Because I have a -2 to wisdom and I rolled a nat 1. So I got a -1.
Indrova, you are climbing, and on that -1 nat 1, as you are climbing, you feel this strange tugging sensation. Something isn't right. Something is missing from the air, from the magic within this plane. Something that usually gives you strength is missing. And you feel yourself pulled back as you are suddenly yanked out of the driver's seat and back into this dentist room waiting office. Lola, as you are stuck in this dark room behind this door, the door suddenly swings open and you see Indrova pulled back through that like dentist room looking waiting room into this dark space, and a mysterious force shoves you forward through one door, through the second door. You hear slamming behind you, and you find yourself in the driver's seat once again. I need you to make a strength save.
Oh, good
with
gracious.
Disadvantage because of that nat 1.
With disadvantage? It was a -1, my guy. Oh, no. Oh, no! I got 4. I rolled a nat 2.
So you lose your grip, having been shunted back into this, into the driver's seat. You lose your grip on the spire's ladder, and you fall back towards the sandy dunes below. Fortunately, they are softer sandy dunes, but you do take a hefty amount of damage. I have to roll fall damage for you for how far you fell. That is too many dice. I'm going to put one back. You take 11
you can put all of them back.
Of...
It's fine. How many?
You take 11 points of fall damage as you tumble back towards the ground and slam right into the hard, but still kind of soft sand below you. You fell 30 feet.
Okay.
You, who is right above Lola in the climbing order? Or no, who's right below Lola? Kai,
no.
You are one of the last ones climbing up. Lola, or Drova was right on top of you and suddenly loses her grip and falls to the ground below you.
I'm just gonna
I need,
look
by the
over.
way, I need a perception check as you see Androva fall.
Okay, I got you. I'll use this dice then. Oh my god, I freaking cannot land us in this dice tray. Okay. That is 14.
Okay.
As you see Lola fall, as you see Androva fall, you look down at the falling body and see that these eyes are no longer that hot pink that they changed to, but once again the familiar traffic light green that you know is associated with Lola.
Okay. Then I'm gonna look down and say, glad to see that you're back, Lola. Are you okay?
You're all on the ladder except for Coco, who's already at the top. You guys hear this?
You know, I'm at about a solid 4 out of 35 right now. I think I might need to take a break.
Oof.
Meta jokes.
I could help you climb back up.
I
If you
think
need
At
it.
this point, Lola, you can totally climb back up on your own. It
I
was
would like-
because of what happened that you
I
lost
would
your
like
grip.
to do that.
Cool. You all eventually make it to the top. Adira, you are the first one to make it to the top. And as you enter through the hatch into this space, you look and see two sights. One, standing in the entryway to the balcony with her arms crossed and a slightly surprised expression on her face, is Alina Grandier in that black toga. Standing across the room is Sapphire. Alina looks at you, looks at Sapphire, looks at you and looks at Sapphire and goes, "Did your lemur just turn into a person?"
I was gonna say something witty about I bet you didn't expect anyone to show up here, but yeah, she did. How far behind me is everyone else? Like,
You have Ren about 10 feet below you, followed by Lily and Kai, and then about 45 feet below you now is Lola.
okay,
I'll
I'm
be
gonna-
joining in a minute.
I'm gonna climb up to set myself on the floor and go, Sapphire, you're back?
I don't understand it either.
Sapphire, give me an Arcana check.
Arcana.
Or no, this is not Arcana. This is religion. Give me a religion check.
Religion?
This might be the first religion check I have required this campaign. I am not sure.
That's a 15.
You cool. You on that 15, you aren't sure what's happening. But if you had to take your best guess, there is no moon in Darkvoid. There is no moon that exists on this plane. So it's effectively acting like the new moon, it seems.
Adira,
Yeah.
how many days has it been since our last, encounter?
Definitely not your typical amount based on what you told me.
Right.
I think it's
'cause
only
it
been like 2 days, right?
Ren, you get to the top.
That doesn't make any sense.
A lot of things aren't making sense.
Well, we'll see
Lily,
if I
you
have
get to
6
the top.
hours or not. Now, to see what Coco has managed to pick up this time. And I start
Kai, you
rummaging
get to the
through my
top.
bag. Where?
As soon as I
What the heck is
get to the
this?
top and see Sapphire, I'm definitely going to say, "Who is this? Who is this woman?"
Oh yeah, so when I got to the top, sorry, my mic wasn't working. Do I notice this strange person?
Oh, yeah, you see everything going on. You see Alina looking just like leaning against the threshold of the balcony door, and Adira's talking very familiarly to this tall, beautiful, blonde woman in front of you.
Oh, I didn't know we were meeting somebody else here. I thought there was just the one.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
Hi.
Hi, Adira, I didn't know your friends were coming. I knew there were 4 of you traveling together with Coco, but I thought that was it.
Oh yeah, where is Coco? I
And
haven't
Lola,
seen
you
her.
make it to the top.
I'm immediately running over to Rin.
Sapphire, do you know where we are right now? We're in Darkvoid.
Darkvoid.
Yes.
Okay, that's the plane of shadows, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It's been years since I've heard Darkvoid. They were only just starting to explore it the last time I heard about it.
Well,
Is
it's gotten a
someone
lot more
going to-
populated since then.
Is someone going to explain who this person is?
Sir, you're gonna need to wait a minute.
Chill
I
out.
don't know who you are.
Well, I know who you are, and
Excuse me?
I'm gonna kind of like pull like Adira to the side.
so last time we talked, I told you how Coco only lets me see like certain memories.
Yeah.
The only one she's shown me of him is him being all sassy to me. So,
That's
then
fair.
and then I know Ren and Lola, but I didn't realize that there was another person with you.
Adira feels so awkward because there's all these people around her, but she's trying to just talk to Sapphire, and she's like,
They're
okay,
all
so
watching you guys. At this
Yeah.
point, Alina
Yeah.
walks in and goes, "Look, I know you want to have your own conversation, but you all are in my house right now, so I'd love to do some introductions. I'm Alina. I am trapped in the plane of shadows. Who are you?" And she says that like, she doesn't say that like aggressively. She says it like more kindly than I said it.
I turn to her and I say, Sapphire, charmed, and I like extend my hand.
She immediately puts out a hand, kisses it, and goes, "It is lovely to meet you, Sapphire." And then she looks at you, Adira.
I'm Adira Burke.
Oh my gods.
And this is my sister, Lily Burke.
And she looks at the two of you with a wide expression and goes, Burke, you look just like her. You look just like her. You're a spitting image of her." And she instinctively grabs you and wraps you in a hug, Adira.
Oh, God, okay. This is happening.
And she breaks it and goes, I'm sorry, I haven't talked to or seen Rhea in so many years.
Yeah. Anyway, this is my friend, Ren.
She gives a smile to you, Ren, and goes, "Very lovely to meet you." And as soon as you say hi just like that, her smile gets bigger and she goes, "Ooh, I can tell I'm gonna like you."
This woman is either Androva or Lola. Lola's chill,
I'm
Androva's not.
too concerned, like looking at Ren, going, "Are you okay?"
I will say hi to her later. It seems like she's a little busy.
And that's Kai. He's a dumbass.
She gives like a raised eyebrow at you, Adira, and then looks over at Kai and goes, "Well, it's nice to meet you, Kai."
It's nice to meet you too.
So, Lola, what are you doing right now fussing with Ren? How's that going out?
So the moment that I get up to the top of the ladder, is it a ladder?
Yeah.
The vertical steps, whatever it is.
A ladder.
The moment I see Ren, I'm gonna beeline over to him and start like hands everywhere, just going like, "Are you okay? Are you here? Are you hurt?
Ren, give
Where's
me an
Coco?
insight
What's
check.
happening?"
Give me an insight check, Ren.
I don't know where Coco is.
Ren, I need an insight check.
As he says that, I'm gonna start like walking over towards Ren and Lula.
One of those was really good, but the other was really bad. So an 8.
Oh, no.
You don't realize that this is Lola and not Androva.
But I'm looking right at Ren with my bright green eyeballs.
Yeah, you're looking at Ren, but Ren's trying to just be like, I'm fine. So Ren doesn't notice anything different.
Well, I'm gonna start looking around for Coco, because like looking over the edge of the thing, seeing if I can see her. Maybe she's always getting into
I'm
trouble.
gonna walk up to Ren and kind of like kneel down like next to him, so we're like eye level. Hi there,
I think
Ren.
Kai's gonna watch them kind of and be kind of just looking out for Ren. Because he does not
Hi there,
trust
Ren.
this new lady.
Hi, have you seen my lemur?
I don't really know how to tell you this, but I am your lemur.
Then I
That's the session title. I am your lemur.
Man, that's very funny. We're looking for someone right now.
Lola. I am Coco.
As you
can-
hear I am Coco, Lola, I need you to roll an insight check.
He's real better than I did.
Here's to hoping. Oh, got an 18.
There is very little question. There's very little question in your mind, with very, very significant confidence and truth in her voice. This woman seems to be very much so telling the truth when she says, "I am Coco."
Ren, can you do me a favor? Look
Yes.
look at my eyes. Do you see what color
Really
they are?
stare- Yeah.
Do you know what color that is?
Andrew, I forgot what color her
They're
eyes
emerald,
were.
sweetie.
Yeah, that's kind of like an amberish, like a brownish color.
And you know who else
You can
is
give me
the
another
only...
insight check, Ren.
Yeah, I don't know if Ren would have paid attention
That's-
enough to know Coco's
That's
eyes.
because you're not great at insight.
5.
Yeah, you're not putting two and two together.
You know who
Ren
else
apparently
has
just
the
does
same
not
colored
look at eye
eyes as
color
me?
at all, ever.
No, Clara doesn't either.
Well, Coco is the only lemur I've ever come across to have the same exact colored eyes as I do. And there's some pretty
what
rare
a
eyes.
coincidence. You guys should definitely meet each other. Well, you can find her.
I would
I'm
love
gonna-
to meet Coco one day because I need to have a very stern talking to with her about all of the stuff that she steals.
You all need to have a stern talking to Coco.
See my bag right here, and I'm gonna show Ren my bright lime green purse.
It's very bright.
Yes, whatever Coco shoves into her diaper appears in my bag. And there's a lot of random things in here now.
Yeah. How does that work? Are they like connected? Like put it in here and then like boop out here?
So,
As
because
this
of
conversation's
how-
going on, we're gonna cut away right now to Lily, Ren, and Kai, where Alina approaches you guys. But before we get there, I want to make a point that in the past 5 minutes, Emily's facial expressions have been everything.
They're always everything.
But anyway, we cut over now to you guys. Alina's gonna leave the trio alone for a minute and look at you guys and go, "So, how'd you wind up in Darkvoid? And, what's up? I haven't talked to people in 32 years. Please, please, please have something useful to say."
Who's she speaking to?
The three of you. You, Kai, and Lily.
Well, we got here through a portal in Ilsa Fisk's mansion.
Oh, you're from Rivaryn too? Oh, thank God. Wait, I knew this. You're
Yeah.
Ria's daughter. I am so dumb.
It's okay. And we actually came because our mom's kind of been. We're trying to find out more information about the tower because we want to get it started back up. And Ria left us a trail, and the last thing that we found was this lunamancy pendant. And I'll kind of gesture for Lily to pull it out.
I will pull it out.
And she looks at it and she asks, "Can I see it?
Yeah, I don't even know if I should have it.
And she looks at it closely, flips it over, and goes, "Yeah, this was Ria's. I had the identical partner." And she points at the wall where you see a pendant, probably the pendant of planomancy, but the bead is missing. And she gives it back to you, Lily, and goes, "I used up my pendant to save Ria's life 32 years ago. And what did you say about the tower?"
The tower's been down for a while, and everyone's
the
kind of
tower on this tower, the great all
tower,
life-giving tower.
The tower, yes.
That doesn't make sense. It can't shut down. It was built impeccably. It can't ever turn off.
It has.
Okay. Wow. She takes a seat on a makeshift chair she has, and goes, "This is. I'm sorry. This is a lot to take in right now. There's just a lot going on. So you're looking for information about your mother, then, I guess."
Yeah.
Right. Let me see what I can tell you. And we're gonna cut back to Coco and Ren and Lola. Coco, Ren, and Lola. How is the conversation progressing at this point?
So you mean to tell me that you transform every new moon, and we've had you for how many years, and you've never told us about this?
It's whoever Coco decides gets to see this form. It's out of my control. It was only recently that she brought Adira to me. 'Cause every month I'm only allowed a certain amount of memories from Coco. So like she would occasionally give me like little images of you guys. So over the past few years I've been able to put 2 and 2 together that we were all traveling together. And then I eventually learned what your names were. But it's only been really recently that she's been giving me memories of people and not just like a shiny rock. Or there was one time she gave me a memory of her poop. So that was fun. But I'm still trying to figure out what this curse has done to me and how it all works.
So how exactly did you end up that way?
Well, back when I was dating this god, it's kind of a long story.
I mean, we got
I was dating
time.
them. Okay, well, I was dating them for a while, and then, they cheated on me, so then I started seeing someone else, they got mad, put a curse on me, yada yada yada. And, yeah.
That sounds like we got an angry, abusive ex on our hands.
Yeah, well,
toxic
originally,
behavior.
it was supposed to be, like, a gift to, like, keep me young forever. But then, they got mad, so the, like, gift that she bestowed on me flipped, and now
It's a she.
I'm only in my human form for, like, 6 hours, and that's when you see Coco for the rest of the time every month.
And we are going to cut away now and head over back to nowhere, where we return to Bo. Bo, you are in the middle of conversation with the gunslinger and the governor's boy when there is a deafening silence put over you. You know almost exactly what this is. You can tell it's time. And almost as soon as you arrived in Darkvoid, you are suddenly in this large chamber. You are sitting at an obsidian table with the gunslinger on one side. In front of you is a large throne with a giant shadow on it, with a shadowy crown and skeletal shadowy fingers. There's no face, it's just pure hooded shadow. And this being looks down at you in silence.
I'm sitting down already.
Yes, you are already at this table.
I just do a small like nod bow thing in my chair.
The gunslinger does the same. It is like the silence is it's so quiet you can hear your blood rushing in your head. That's how quiet it is. And the King of Shadows, looking down at you, speaks, but doesn't speak. Silence remains. You can almost hear the voice of the King of Shadows in your own head. As you hear the voice, this gravelly voice saying, "You have broken the first rule of the dead. The dead should stay dead. You have broken the second rule of the dead. Those who return must return by natural forces. You have broken the third rule of the dead. Only the living can return the dead. You must be tried. What is your excuse?"
There was a whole nation that needed my help, and there was no other way I was gonna get about it, so I did what I had to do.
You say that, but nothing comes out of your mouth. But it seems that the King of Shadows has registered exactly what you said. You hear the voice go, "The affairs of the living are no matter to the affairs of the dead. I do not deem that worthy." And you see his head turn ever so slightly. It seems like he's facing the gunslinger. You can't hear anything, but it looks like the gunslinger is talking. And then he continues to look at the gunslinger, but he goes, "When the life of the living matters more than the existence of the dead, one is not truly dead." And he looks back at you and goes, "Are you truly dead?" Give me an insight check.
I'm using my new stats, right?
You are using your new stats. Yes.
Oh my god.
Question mark?
For those of you at home, Jake has been given shadow stats for being a shadow.
Oh.
That's a 9.
Nice.
You don't know how to answer exactly, but you know you need to tread carefully. The way you answer could either support the King of Shadows' point. It could defend your point, or worst case scenario, it could backfire so hard that you cease to exist at the hands of the King of Shadows.
Alright, just after a moment, I am dead, but I still support the living.
He goes, "And what gives you jurisdiction over the living?"
Nothing, just, I helped create what that nation is. It felt like my responsibility to help keep it alive.
He cocks his head a little bit and turns slightly towards the gunslinger. The gunslinger seems to say something, and then he looks back and goes, "So you do not find yourself to be departed with the land of the living yet?"
I'm not of Galia. I'm completely dead. I just feel like Galia will be a part of me.
He looks at you and narrows his eyes. But he doesn't have eyes. You can just feel, like, the sense of these eyes narrowing. It's piercing. It's painful. And he goes, "Let us approach the 3 laws." And he raises a hand. And in his hand appears a scale, like the scales of justice. And on one side, and then with his other hand, he reaches out and touches your shadow. And pulls from your shadow a small, almost an orb, a golden orb. And you can see your own face on the orb. He puts it on one side of the scale. The scale starts to weigh and goes, "We will now measure the 3 laws. Should you fail, punishment will be swift. Should you succeed, we will determine how to approach from there." And we're going to cut back to the group.
No.
You have been with Alina for about 2 hours, if you had to guess. As you all are kind of getting used to things, you all are starting to get. You guys all having to come to terms with Sapphire. You have to. You're coming to terms with Alina. In that time, Alina has not met anyone in 32 years, really. So I know you're looking for answers, but there's that feeling of maybe entertain her for a bit. And you have these conversations. She bonds with you heavily over some of these great bands, Adira. You talk about Fallout Bard. You talk about Peril at the Dungeon. You talk about Tabaxi Riot. All these great bands. There's a huge bonding moment. Lily, she talks to you all about your mother's painting. And you bond over some painting. Kai, she gushes with you about Larkstone and about the experience of the school and all that stuff. She seems to bond with everyone. Sapphire, she has this whole conversation about engineering and about inventing. Seems like she's done some of that herself. Ren, she gives you a piece of paper after talking about wizard stuff, and there is a scroll. There is a scroll on it, and you find the spell False Life.
Yes.
Very appropriate for Land of Dead. Lola, she talks with you about family, and she talks about her found family, specifically Rhea. But she bonds with you over the idea of the importance of family. And after about those 2 hours, she finally decides, all right, you all gave me the conversation I've so deeply missed. I think it's time I tell you the story of what happened. She sits down on a chair, and she goes, "When we were separated 32 years ago, we were a part of a resistance group. There was a group that wanted to make use of the tower's abilities for their own purposes and were known for stealing great inventions in order to do it. And we fought against them. And I'll start from the beginning. 32 years ago, Fortitude Industries, I hope you've all heard of it at this point, had groups on missions all around Rivaryn, and they were essentially illegally stealing ideas from young inventors, particularly female inventors. It was terrible, but there was this horrible sexism, this horrible just treatment of people in general that Fortitude was committing. And no one seemed to notice or care because it was a female CEO. I don't remember her name. Something with a Q?
Ilsa. No, not Ilsa?
No, that doesn't sound right. maybe is that the current CEO? Because maybe there was a transition somewhere in between.
Yeah, Ilsa Fisk
but-
is the current.
Right, but they were stealing these inventions, and Rhea and I had invented something. We had this plan. We were creating a tracking mechanism that could pinpoint the living family, the living blood of any person from their own blood prick themselves. It was Rhea's idea, but we were able to build it, and the prototype was faulty, though. It kept pinpointing Rhea's birth mom, whom we both knew was dead. And either way, it wasn't working. It was bringing us to this forest with these woodland creatures, these parrots and monkeys, and these... what else was there? Alligators. Just weird things that were not human, and we knew it wasn't true. So we went to rework on it, and we were so close. We almost had it. And then one day we found out that there was a patent out for it, given to Fortitude. They had stolen our idea somehow, and we no longer had it. It was out of our hands. And it was horrible. Rhea took it hard. She would never find her family. But we eventually wound up in Fallon, where we met the Scrappers. We helped build the forces. The Scrappers were when we were there with the Scrappers. I don't know if they're still around now, but when we were with the Scrappers, it was a group of people who had everyone there had their invention stolen, and were fighting the horrible fight against Fortitude. It got so bad that there was a huge altercation, a physical fight under VL in a swamp. Several people died, both sides, actually including Rhea. I panicked, didn't know what to do. I crushed my bead. It saved Rhea's life, brought her back, but I was banished to a plane beyond Galia, which is Darkvoid, and I can never leave. I've tried. I physically cannot leave. That was the last time I had ever heard from Rhea. Well, until several years ago. And she looks down and takes a bunch of deep breaths.
That sounds like an awful lot to go through.
I lost my best friend and my true family. If you're Rhea's children, I guess I would consider you my nieces. I'm very happy to be able to say, even though we never knew each other, that I'm meeting family.
I mean, you seem like a pretty cool aunt, so I can't complain.
She smiles, and she goes, okay, all right. I think I should show you. Some years ago, I lost track of time in Darkvoid, but what definitely is many years ago, I was wandering through the fields of the Plane of Shadows, and I came across a shadow that I would never, ever have expected to see outside of nowhere, but it was there, and I know the shadows outside of nowhere are a lot more vague, but I knew exactly what it was and who it was. And Adira, Lily, would you like to see your mother? She has like tears streaming down both of her eyes talking about this. This is a lot for her to process, talking to you about this at once. She knows it's a lot for you to process. What are the thoughts going through Lily's mind right now?
Ajira, you never got to see her. You never got to know her. Is that better than whatever it is we could see?
I think I look at Alina and I ask, does she have a consciousness here?
She technically does not. When you are dead in Darkvoid, you have no sense of self, no memories. And she like fully breaks down into like she's like fully crying at this point. And as she goes, I've been working on a project for a very long time. It's very raw, but I've been doing as much as I can, trying to figure out magic, whatever. If there's a way using the life magic here to bring her memories back, make her alive once again. I'm so alone in Darkwood. I have nobody here. I visit her and talk to her sometimes. She can't understand me, but I talk to her, and it's therapeutic. And she looks over at you, Lily. Are you trying to hide your expression at all?
No.
She can see how hard this is impacting you, and she says, you seem like you've gone through a lot without your mom. I don't want to give you any demands of what you should do, but I genuinely think it'd be a good idea for you to go talk to her. She won't respond, but it helps me. I think it might be helpful for you.
I have some experience with magic. Is there any way that I could help?
We won't know unless we're there.
Okay.
Should I take you?
Um,
She's still fully crying, by the way.
can I take her aside for like a minute so that nobody else can hear?
Sure, you guys go onto the balcony.
All right. I would like to maybe see her, if there is a way to even temporarily, most likely temporarily, have any semblance of her return. I would like to give all of that time to Adira. She never got to know her.
I understand. I'm going to make a suggestion, and I know this might be challenging, but I think for the sake of, it seems like you have a very close group. You are all very supportive of each other and very, and it seems like you are the kind of people who can be there when you need some love and support. I would strongly advise you take them all with you. I know it might be hard, but it's better to have those shoulders than not on the journey back here afterwards.
All right.
She's going to take a deep breath and step back inside and go, everyone, please meet me down on the dunes. We are going to go meet Rhea Burke. And you all... What were you going to say?
But how long is this going to take? Because I'm not sure I can do much right now.
It will not be too long. I strategically planted myself here for a reason. And she starts climbing down, accompanied by you guys. You follow her for some time across several dunes. She seems to know the way very well. And she approaches a crowd of shadows. Everything looks the same. You have no idea if you're getting close or not, but she approaches a crowd of shadows and stops. And she looks straight forward at one particular shadow. And as the shadow wanders aimlessly and turns around, these shadows are very vague, very generally outlined. But there's a brief moment where you can see the facial features, the high cheekbones, the wrinkles on the forehead, the pointed chin. This is Rhea Burke. I
Adira's
need
crying.
a wisdom saving throw, and I think the person knows who they are who needs to make this wisdom save.
Is it me?
Nope.
Is it...
Nope, not Lily.
Shoot, okay, good.
I'm sure it ain't me, so.
Please tell
Is it
me
me,
what it is.
Jesus?
Please tell me out loud what it is once you've rolled it.
14.
You see Rhea in front of you, and there is an overwhelming burst of emotion. You haven't seen Rhea in 60 years, maybe, almost. You cannot hold back the tears.
I was at the back of the group. I've sprinted through everybody. I'm sobbing, and when I get to her, I fall to the ground.
I'm on
And
the
that is
ground
where
with
we are
her.
going to take our break.
No!
Yeehaw!
We'll be back soon.
Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Are you curious to learn more about our players or the world of Galia? Well, now you can. Our website is now live with info about us, our characters, and the world. Just head over to campaignCrusades.com or use the link in the description below. Now, on with the game.
And we are back. So, we travel back to the Throne of Shadows, where the King of Shadows sits, judging Bo on the scale. The scale is in his hands. Bo's life essence, the memories and the existence of Bo from his past, are on one side. As it starts to lower that side, the King of Shadows looks at you, Bo, and you hear the voice in your mind say, as it says, "The first rule, the dead should stay dead. Have you remained dead?"
I have not.
Immediately, the scale drops significantly on that one side. He goes, "Very well. The second rule. Should the dead return to life, they should return by natural means. Did you return by natural means?"
I mean, if I was able to do it, that has to be natural some way, right?
Very well. Let us observe how you returned. And I'm going to throw a curveball. There is a blinding light in the room, and everyone in the room is brought back in a flashback to 3-4 years prior. You are on the outskirts of nowhere, Bo, 4 years younger, as your shadow self. You are with the gunslinger, and the gunslinger looks at you and goes, "How do you know this is going to work?"
There's only so much that can go wrong. I think it's worth the risk. Avoiding the question.
Look, I know you have confidence, but I'm telling you, this is not your responsibility anymore. It is not your life to live. You know what'll happen if you get caught.
We both know I know what happens. There's...
Cool.
It's worth it.
And I want you to make an investigation check.
Ooh. I'm really not liking these new stats. Let's say, I got -2, so that's 7.
Roll it with advantage.
Sick.
Because this is backstory, so therefore, if backstory fails, backstory has a problem.
Well, my second roll was a nat 1, so...
So you cannot tell for sure, but you do have this sense as you approach one of the walls of nowhere that the Throne of Shadows in a large chamber on the other side of the walls, you are pretty sure that there is enough residue, powerful magic from the Throne of Shadows just eking out into like 1 square foot, essentially, of the circular walls of nowhere. That if you can do this right, in that square foot, you can open your own portal and return to Rivaryn.
Yeah, just start feeling around, just like arcanely feeling around with my hands, not like physically, but
Cool. You in your life were an arcane engineer, so I want you to make an Arcana check with adding your. I want you to make an Arcana check, and I want you to add your proficiency to it. If you already have your proficiency, because I have not checked, I want you to double it. Make it expertise in this check.
14.
Very cool. So this is a very challenging and dangerous act that you are doing. You only ever had one opportunity to do it before now, which was about a few years ago, and you discovered it coincidentally. It's not like you were trying. You know that the power of the magic of the Throne of Shadows is only powerful enough when a soul worthy of being judged to enter nowhere is being judged by the King of Shadows. You close your eyes and you reach out with your arcane hand and feel around. There's nothing but the air and the wall in front of you, and then you feel it. There's nothing there, but you feel almost a doorknob. And as you grasp that doorknob, you turn and pull it. You open a door in the aura of the King of Shadows. The King of Shadows has very powerful magic. You create a door within the aura of the King of Shadows. Very clearly illegal. Not how you would not how you naturally. It's very clearly unnatural. Not how you would naturally return to Galia. And you lean forward and get sucked in, and the door closes. You hear a voice behind you going, "It worked," and that's the last thing you hear of the gunslinger. There is a moment where you are in nothing but black space, like between planes, somewhere that does not exist between planes, and you get this feeling that you can't return to Galia at the moment. There's something missing, and as you look down in this space of nothing, this liminal space, you see your shadowy self, but it doesn't feel correct. And slowly a body starts to form around you. A body that gets bigger and stronger until a young beau of about 25, 26 is in front of you and appears on a random street in the city of Fallon. Back in the hall of the at the Throne of Shadows, the King of Shadows looks at you and goes, "This was an unnatural means, a violation of the second law." And the scale gets lower.
Yeah, that's say you right there.
And he looks at you one more time and goes, "And the third law, the matters of the living are inconsequential to the matters of the dead. Did you, after unnaturally entering Galia, meddle with the affairs of the living?"
So far, no.
He cocks his head a little bit and goes, "No." And then he turns and faces the gunslinger. The gunslinger seems to talk. And the King of Shadows cocks his head a little more and goes, "A fair point. Though you intended for your meddling to commence, it has not occurred yet. To this point, nothing you have done to this point has been of consequences beyond your own action." And the scale rises a little bit. It does not go back up to balanced, but it rises a little. And he looks down at the scale in his hand and looks at you and goes, "Beau Salverson, your outcome has been determined." You see this piercing gaze from the non-existent shadowy face, Bo. Give me an insight check.
That's a 13.
You can tell that you are not going to be snapped out of existence. Marvel reference for you. But you also can tell the outcome of this is not going to be good. He goes, your shadow has been deemed worthy to survive, but not with the gift of nowhere. You will be sent to the plains of the plane of shadows. Your memory will be removed. Your sense of self gone. Goodbye, Bo Salverson. And he reaches up a skeletal hand and snaps. You get the word wait in, but it's too late. Bo, your memory, your sense of self is no longer with you, as you are a mindless soul within the plane of shadows. We cut back to the group now. But I will give everyone a second to digest what just happened.
What the? I mean, what the?
PG-13.
What the hickety heck?
We get 1.
What in the hickin' heck?
Anyway, we return to the group. Sapphire, you have just seen the face of Rhea Burke on the shadow. Rushing forward, you find yourself on the ground in hard tears. Lily, Adira, you are crying. Sapphire is crying between you as well.
Adira takes a step back to let Lily, Sapphire, and Alina be with Rhea.
Alina looks over at Lily and looks over at Sapphire and looks at Lily first and goes, It's hard, I know, but to me it's better than nothing. And then looks at you, Sapphire, and goes, but I'm not sure I know of you. How are you connected to her?
Well, she's my daughter.
Her eyes narrow a little bit as you say that. You were one of the engineers.
Yeah.
And she just looks at Lily and Adira and goes, that's your... And is just going to take a step back and let you guys talk.
Grandma!
Hi.
What is going on?
Everything that I ever did was to protect her.
Guess that's why they kept being led to a jungle. Huh.
I was probably in my Coco form. There was a long time period where I was in a jungle. I had a workshop. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I'd send Lou out to keep an eye on her. Make sure everything was okay.
And were you there when
your mother was born? Or not your mother.
Yeah.
Your sister. Yeah, I was.
I knew you were the guardian.
Well, I had to know it was really you. And I see that your mom named you after the middle name of Rhea.
Yeah.
Well, when I picked out Rhea's name, I chose to go with Adira because back when I was younger, my parents would tell me these stories. And my mother was obsessed with this one pirate. And my middle name is actually Sapphire. And loosely translated into Martoran, is Saphira, who was a amazing heroine, and Adira means heroine in Martoran. So I thought it would be fitting that my little hero would forever be branded as a hero.
This is a lot.
I know. You both probably hate me, but it needed to come out sometime.
Why would we hate you?
Because I wasn't there.
You didn't have a choice.
I somewhat did, but the reason that so many things have happened is because of my actions. I'm sorry. And I just start crying even harder.
I will try to pull her in for a hug and grab Adira into a big Burke hug.
Adira reluctantly allows herself to be pulled into this hug, but she's not doing great.
While the hug is happening, because we have several other player characters in the scene, Lola, Ren, Kai, what's going on with you guys? What's going through your heads?
I got elevator music in my head right now. After that.
That Saphira reference took her out.
Yeah. I'm gone.
I would say Kai is definitely watching, and like, Kai's watching and definitely just kind of taking in the sweetness of the moment, and definitely with all these people talking about family and friends and stuff. I think he's gonna like shed a quick tear while he's watching, and definitely wonder where his best friend is.
Oh.
While all this is going on. So that's what Kai's doing.
Ren probably pulled some component out of his bag and has just started fiddling with it. He's just uncomfy. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's happening.
Ren, give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, dear. I think I'm pretty good at those.
Is there like a small pebble or something? Lola would like, I would like to, when Ren's done with that, ask Ren
Sorry, my character sheet's being done.
if he has a rock.
14.
You play with this thing for... What? Sorry?
Oh, no, I was just going to continue. You say.
Yeah, you play with the thing for a second, and then suddenly it makes a few popping sounds as it starts to spark off in your hand.
Ah!
In the middle of this hug.
I'm just going to, like, quickly put it back in my bag. And if
There's
Lola
a muffled
asks
popping
Ren,
now. It's muffled.
He's just going to...
Yeah, any rock?
and Lola asks... yeah, I'm sure I have a few. I'm going to start digging around, probably throwing papers...
Alright, here, let me grab those.
One.
Let's not throw them everywhere.
Oh, yeah. That's probably smart. I got this little one right here. It's kind of, rough and gray. Then I have this bigger one. It's smooth and gray.
Which one do you like better?
I like the rough rock. You can have the smooth one.
Here, I'm gonna take the rough one just for a second, okay?
Okay.
And I would like to use tinkering for the first time in this entire campaign.
Whoa.
And
What you making, friend?
I want to make the rock softly emit the sound of the ocean and kind of like the smell of the ocean and give it back to Ren.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
I know it's been a little bit stressful being.
Yeah, it has. This is really cool though. It's like a seashell. You can hear the ocean.
You hear the sounds of the ocean softly in the rock. It is beautiful. It is calming. There was a hurricane coming. No.
No.
You just hear the soothing sounds of the ocean in the rock. And Adira, Lily, Sapphire, continue.
I guess I should probably tell you guys my real name. Because Sapphire's my middle one. My name is Ivy, and I was one of the head engineers on the tower.
Ivy's my middle name.
Middle names are a big thing in our family.
Make a history check, Ivy.
God dang it. Oh, I'm good at those. That's a nat 20, y'all. With a +6.
You know that her middle name is Ivy. You're the one who put that on the birth certificate.
Sweetie, I'm the one who put it on your birth
Oh,
certificate.
right. That makes sense.
Do you know why it makes sense, Lily?
Yeah, she was there. She's the guardian.
Is there anything you want to know?
How do we help break the curse? Like,
We need
Well, I pull out this necklace that I have, like, that's tucked into my dress. I pull it out. Say, this was a family heirloom. I have 1/3 of it. 1/3 was given to Rhea. And I don't know where the last third is. I think when all three are brought back together at my greatest legacy, I can finally be Ivy again, full-time. Or I might die. Either way, I don't want to be a lemur anymore.
At that, Alina steps forward and goes, I think I might be able to help with that, actually.
Yeah?
The piece that Rhea had, we once were traveling, and I can't tell you how because I don't remember how, but we started near the end of our time together. We found this, what looked like a key, and it looked like it also held something together at the head. And there were 3 like parts to it, and it seemed like Rhea's fit perfectly within it. We were in Dahlia once, and we had that key, and we had it out, and we found ourselves inside the tower. We weren't there for long, but nobody ever gets in the tower. No one ever gets in the tower. You would know. You programmed it that way. But we found ourselves inside the tower. I don't know if you all planned this key, but we found it. I remember where I left it. It's gonna come to me. It might take me a little time. I'm sorry. You might have to hang tight. I can't remember off the top of my head. I have to think about it. But I think those pieces might all fit in the key.
Yeah, that was my doing.
well, I have...
Oh.
And I'll pull out my sapphire shard.
I know where the third one is.
I think I do too.
Where is it?
I think...
Bo has it.
Yeah.
Bo. That's an interesting name.
Where is Bo?
Yeah, like...
I don't know. I think at that I turn to Alina and I say, you've been here obviously a while. When we got here, Bo told me some deal about how he was actually dead and came back to Rivaryn and took over and had a mortal body. Anyway, when we got here, he turned into a shadow and was just kind of dragged somewhere.
I don't know. I've never heard of that happening to a shadow before. I'm sorry, I don't know any bow shadow, or I would bring you to them, but I've never heard of that happening to a shadow.
Interesting.
I will think as much as I can about what I remember. We should probably return to the hut. It'll be more painful the longer we wait with Rhea.
Is there anything we can do for her
I don't
now?
think right now. I have been trying to figure out something, but right now what I can tell is whatever will work is not magic of Darkvoid.
Are there any, like, gods or anything here? Like...
The only being with any jurisdiction in Darkvoid is the King of Shadows. Gods do not exist in Darkvoid, and the King of Shadows is not an opinionated or a feeling being. The King of Shadows only abides by what is law and what is not, of life and death.
I see. Where would one find this King of Shadows?
I do not know. I've never encountered the King of Shadows. Supposedly no one can find the King of Shadows who is not a soul. I do have a question for you, if you don't mind me asking, Ivy.
Sure.
I've had my share of experiences with gods. Rhea, I'm sure I know has had two as well. Which god did that to you?
Yavin. And I start to, like, clench my fists.
Wait. Is he not?
Alina turns and looks at Lily. Yeah, and then looks back at Ivy and goes, "She did that to you?"
Wait.
Who?
She's my parent.
What?
Yavin is my other parent. And that's why Rhea's here.
Well, it's because of, I guess, me and Yavin that your grandpa's here, so...
Grandpa?
What?
Yeah.
Who?
His name was Bo.
Knew it.
No.
What?
No, this is too much for one day. No.
So... Bo told us that he had died.
It was a premature death done by Yavin.
What? What does he have against our family?
Yavin is a female.
What does she... Shit. I can't even think straight.
She's mad because we were together. I agreed to be with her for eternal beauty. And then when I discovered she was cheating on me, I decided to leave her.
Lena goes, "That makes sense. Gods have no sense of moral judgment. They don't care if they cheated on you and you want to leave them. They just don't want you to leave them."
That's why I made sure Ria was as far away from me as possible, because I knew Yavin would try and use her against me at any point that she had gotten.
What did Yavin do something to Bo? Is that why he died?
I don't know all the specifics of it.
Well, let's try to find him. Maybe we can bring him back.
Or this goddamn King of Shadows?
I'm willing to try anything.
Reminder to you all, as far as you know, Bo was pulled off somewhere. Still conscious and still cognizant of his own existence.
I think I can try and reason.
And it seemed
with
like
this
Bo
shadow
also
guy.
seemed like he was not fighting this being pulled off. Like Bo was accepting it at the time. Remember that too. Like Bo knew what he was doing.
So, what is going on? What are we doing?
I mean, we gotta try to find Bo.
Yes.
He just, like, floated off. I'm gonna step 1 foot, like, off of the sand into, like, the... where everyone's floating.
Where the shadows are floating?
Yeah.
They're floating slightly above the sand. In fact, I want you to make a perception check for me.
Okay.
Dang, I want to make a perception check.
10.
What did Kai get?
Oh, can I do it? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, not 20. I want to use my inspiration, though.
Kai, you look at the sand and you see that this is not actually sand. As you look closely, it looks like these are all the dust, all the sand on the ground is remnant shadow that slowly trails off of and comes off of the shadows floating around over time.
Yeah.
So the sand you are walking on is the remnant of the shadows who once existed. It doesn't seem like it dissolves them at all. It just comes off of them and onto the ground. You're walking on sandy shadow.
I think that this sand is like remnants of the shadows that like disappear. Like it kind of.
Lena goes, "Yeah, that's exactly it. I learned soon enough. If treated right, it can be turned into a fabric almost. This is that fabric. My toga is made of shadow."
Okay.
Is there any way to, when we first came in here, Bo floated off somewhere. Is there any way for us to do the same thing?
I am sorry, there is not, as far as I know. I have explored this plane for years, and all I've ever come across were more fields and spiders and shadows. I know of the stories of Nowhere, the great city of the good shadows, but I've never found it in my 32 years here.
Can I try?
Did you say you...
Sorry.
Oh, no, child, go ahead.
I want to try turning into my raven form and flying up as high as I can to see what I can see.
Make an Arcana check for me.
$16.
The curse of a wereform is a magical virus, which you know. Without the magic of the world to sustain it, you find yourself unable to transform into your wereform. You are just a Dira here.
I mean, what do we do? We have to do something. I mean, my best friend is like up there.
Lola, can I talk to you for a second?
Which one? Who did you say?
Lola.
Oh, me! Oh. Yeah. What do you need?
if I remember correctly, you're some sort of Omnimech-ish
Right? Yeah.
humanoid.
Somehow.
Um,
It's a little crazy, I know. I'm still dealing with it myself.
did they ever give you guys any like tracking upgrades or anything like that? Do you
I don't
know?
know. I haven't tried anything like that.
Would you mind if I tried tinkering around a little bit to see if I can see what's all programmed?
Go for it. I don't really know how to.
I start tinkering away on
Open a
Lola.
latch in the back of Lola's neck. Lola, this is very weird for you. As
I
this
cover
latch is
Ren's
open.
eyes. I'm like,
Your
no, you
hands
can
are
see
kind of
this.
cold.
Oh, sorry.
Sapphire is tinkering. Make a
Ivy.
Ivy. Ivy is tinkering. Ivy, I want you to make a Tinker Tools check, essentially. That's intelligence plus proficiency, I believe.
I was gonna say, can I perform the help action in any way?
You can have advantage on this, Ivy.
Okay. Okay, that's good. All right, so you said intelligence plus proficiency?
Yeah.
All right, that's a 24.
You pull up the little control panel that has like a screen and pull up all the code. And as you were looking through the code, you find two things. One, you find almost a virus in the code. It's not really a virus, it's more of a bug. And what do you roll again?
A 24.
Cool. On a 24, you can tell that this bug, like you're looking at the bug, you're looking at the original code that it's designed. Lola isn't the code. Lola is the bug. And as you keep looking, you also find the hardware. That's the software side of things. You find that Lola is the bug, not the code. And you look through, then you move the panel aside, look through the hardware, and you find the protocol chip. And there is no tracking software. There's no tracking hardware in there, but there are extra ports for extra software. I want you to make a luck check, a d20 roll.
Okay. That's a 16.
You have a piece of hardware that Coco stole once years ago in your bag.
Heck
that
yeah.
isn't the exact hardware, but if you can install it correctly, you could possibly turn it into a tracking chip. And then just put in a little bit of code on the software and make a tracking ability.
Lola, would you mind if I made some tracking software for you?
I guess.
Okay. Start going away.
Make another Tinker Tools check.
What was that? Intelligence plus proficiency?
With advantage from being helped by Lola, because Lola's doing whatever you need her to do.
Right.
Bend my arms behind my head and be like,
So, Ren, by the way, what are you doing as Kai is covering your eyes? We can't hear you.
No.
Now,
Now
we
we
hear you.
can.
Oh, hi.
So, Kai has your eyes covered. What are you doing?
I mean, I guess just standing there, letting him cover my eyes. Yep. Okay.
a little ocean run.
Kai's hands are really cold, by the way, from
The
being in
hands are
Darkvoid
really
this
cold,
long.
Mr. Kai.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What did you roll, Ivy?
I got a nat 20.
On that nat 20, you install this thing beautifully, and you are able to put in some software. On that nat 20, I'm going to give you an option. I'm going to say you can do something additional that will help the body, but it is at the cost of information in the future, and you know that. I'm not going to tell you what the information is. Just Would you rather the information or giving Lola a little bit of help?
I'll give Lola some help.
You realign the programming and redesign Lola as the core software and Indrova as the bug.
Well, I took care of, the programming says Indrova, but, doesn't seem like that was working too well, because you're here, and you seem very nice, so I flipped you two. Is that cool with the group?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, cool, and then I do the thing.
Cool. You do that, and then you close the hatch again. Lola, you need to make a wisdom save.
Ah.
Oh God.
I did better than at the beginning of the session. That's
That's
good
good.
news. The bad news, I instead of rolling a nat 1, I rolled a nat 2, so I got a 0 instead of a 1.
So you you heard what was happening. You know that you have been replaced from the bug into the main code, and Indrova has been turned into the bug. But you also remember what happened to you when you entered Darkvoid. The bug immediately takes hold because you are in Darkvoid, where there's no arcane engineering to prevent the bug from taking over, and you feel yourself
Gosh, darn
pulled
it.
backwards as the doors in your mind slam open.
Just came back.
Indrova, you are in the black room again after all this time, and you feel yourself suddenly pushed through these doors by the invisible force, and you find yourself back again in the driver's seat. Lola, you are locked behind the doors.
Okay.
Do we all notice?
The eyes turn bright pink again. Hot pink.
Oh God, no.
Indrova, you
Yeah.
feel a little violated, by the way, as you feel like something touched your neck that should not have.
Does someone want to explain what's been happening?
We don't want you. We want the other one.
That's not what I asked.
I don't
I thought
care.
I fixed
Oh.
her. Who
Um,
are you? I was just talking to Lola.
You mean the bug in the software? I'm Indrova. I'm the original protocol.
Well, now you're the bug, honey. Is there something with the magic here?
Magic's
Give me
wonky.
give me a history check, Ivy.
Hey,
That's
Alec,
a
I got a
8.
question for the DM.
Yes.
Does the whatever it is Ivy just did to my protocols and everything, does that increase my survival by any chance?
Yeah. Yes, it increases your survival. You can add proficiency in survival.
Oh, what's up?
Oh
wait, I'm
you rolled
proficient
an
in
8. You
survival.
said. You rolled an 8. You
I
said.
got an 8.
You are pretty confident that you can't remove the bug, so what you did is the extent of what you can do. You also can tell that you can't. You're not sure about the magic. Like, that's a theory in your mind. You don't know for sure, but you're pretty confident the bug. You did what you can with it. So unless some other information comes across your lap, it looks like you're stuck with Indrova until you guys return to Galia. At which point it looks like Lily can take over again.
Well, I guess you have to help us now.
I look at Sapphire. I know you. You're the other one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Shouldn't you be dead too?
We all work in mysterious ways. Including you. Where's the other one?
I'm gonna do what I can. Try to track down Bo.
Make an intelligence check.
Can I just go up to her really quickly before she like leaves or whatever? I don't know if she's gonna leave, but I just want to go and say like, you better find him.
Let's see. That's a dirty 20.
You know that you cannot track him without an aspect of something with a trace of him in order to pin him down.
Okay, so you guys know how they have like tracking dogs. I need something with his essence or his kind of scent to be able to find.
Dang it, Coco. All right. Well, apparently when y'all were running around, Coco gave Bo this candle and then took it back from him. So this might work.
Huh.
Make your survival check.
Let's find out if it works.
I'm so happy I did that last session.
Yeah. Wait, survival, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I rolled a 19 and I have a +4 now, so 23.
So this is a
Apparently rainbow candle.
weak. This is a very, very weak trace. You can't pinpoint an exact location, but you're getting a sense of the general direction.
I know which way he went. And with that, I just start walking in that direction.
You guys walk for a while, generally further and further and further from where Alina's shelter is. After what feels like a long time, yes, she's coming too. After what feels like she's the only one who knows the way back. After what feels like a long time, Androva, you hit a point where the signal starts getting weaker again. So you turn around and you walk another direction until the signal starts getting weaker. And eventually you make this like large circle that is a general area where the signal is at its strongest. The footprints in the sand seem to indicate the giant circle that you guys are in. Hundreds and hundreds of feet wide.
He's somewhere in here.
You said he has the last piece of my sapphire.
Yeah.
Androva, would you be able to track the trace of the sapphire since it's like the same item?
Possibly.
Androva, give me an intelligence check.
16.
That does not have a being the way an essence does, so the tracking that was just installed would not help. A different tracking would have to be put in.
Fortunately, that would be a different type of call software.
Kai, you're you've been with him a lot. Do you have anything?
Do I have anything?
Kai, you can make a perception check.
Okay. Ooh, that's not bad. But I do want to use my inspiration eventually. But I'm not going to do it on this check, because that's an 18.
Hey.
So, when the whole group is walking, Kai, this is really scary for you. I don't know who Bo is. I'm going to say that you started to tag behind. So you were the last one to arrive in this area. And this is horrible, scary. You don't know where Bo is. You are trying to figure out any possible answer, and you start to step away from the group a little bit as they're talking about this and move off in a random direction, just looking around desperately. When your eyes settle on a very vague face, there is remnants of a beard and a mustache, a thin face, and you find your best friend.
Oh, God.
There's a brief moment where this shadow looks at you, doesn't seem to register who you are, and goes back to wandering aimlessly.
Bo? I'll walk up to him.
Bo does not respond.
Bo, please.
Just wanders around aimlessly. Doesn't seem to register the name Bo.
Guys, I'm gonna shout, guys.
I need I need a perception check from the one person who's not paying attention to the conversation with Androva and Ivy. I need Ren to make a perception check.
Ooh, me. Well, that was bad, but I'm gonna use luck and re-roll. No.
You know you can use luck again,
rolled a
right?
3 and a 6.
You can use luck again, right? You have more luck uses.
Oh my god, I'm just gonna use it again then. I've used it like once this whole
You
time.
can stack luck.
Boom. That one was better. You said perception. A 16.
Cool. You spot
Gotta
Kai.
look up those lucks.
You spot Kai in the distance, about a full mage ball court away, staring at this shadow.
What kind of unit of measurement is that?
It's about 100 feet, staring at this shadow, while everyone else is engrossed in tracking Bo. You see Kai staring desperately and scared at the shadow, Ren.
Wait, hold on. So they're staring at a shadow close to us, and I see Bo far away from us?
No, the four of them are in
I'm
the
sorry.
conversation. The four of them are engrossed in the conversation about the tracking and finding Bo. Kai is off in the distance, staring at this shadow.
I'm gonna go up to Kai. I'm just gonna like slowly walk up. And walk next to him, look up at him, look at the shadow. Did you find him?
Please, I'm barely even gonna acknowledge Ren, probably. I just keep, like, God dang it, keep trying to, like, I don't know, try to, like, shake the shadow.
Your hands go right through the shadow.
Well, frick, God dang it, please,
Would I be able to do any sort of like Arcana check to know if I can do anything to help?
You can.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm going
Come
to
on.
look at your character sheet to see if there is anything you can do to help.
Roll a 12. This dice is betraying me tonight.
You don't think you can do anything to help, but you have been hanging out with your group long enough that you think there is a possibility that with the right spell and the nature of the magic that exists within Lily, maybe Lily could do something, but not here. It doesn't feel like you can do anything here with the limited magic that exists here. You have to be somewhere where there's powerful magic of more than one kind.
But I think that Lily is somebody who could help, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna take out my rock that Lola just made for me, the white noise rock, and just kind of like set it on the ground. Hopefully it's like creating at least a little ocean peaceful ambiance. And then I'm gonna run back to Lily.
Kai, you hear this soothing sound of the ocean. As Bo wanders around you in circles aimlessly. No recollection of who you are. Sorry, Jake. You're silent now.
And I don't know where they are. Lily's still having a conversation with everybody else, right?
Yes. The whole group's having this conversation, the four of them.
Okay, I'm just gonna kind of like insert myself into the conversation and just like wait for somebody to acknowledge me. Wait for it to be like my turn to talk.
Hi, Ren.
And hi, Miss Lily, can you come help? Kai's like a long way over there, and I think you might be able to help him.
Okay. Take me to Kai.
I'm gonna grab her hand and we're gonna go over.
Do I see
And-
Lily going off with Ren?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna follow.
Ivy and Idrova make perception checks.
Okay.
At least one of the two of you has to pass a certain DC, or you two are stuck in this conversation, not noticing what's going on over there.
I got a 21.
I got a 9.
Ivy,
No, I
you
got a
notice
7.
everyone.
I have a -2.
Ivy, you notice everyone going over to where Kai is. Idrova, you're not like you're paying attention to Ivy, so when you see Ivy see it, you see it too.
Let's go check over here, and we can finish arguing later.
And as we're walking over, I'm just gonna tell Lily. So I think that we found Mr. Bow, but he's one of the shadows? I think. Kai's over here. He kind of seems upset. Because, his best friend is a shadow. But I figured you could do something to help. I don't know what. But I don't think I can do anything.
Well,
And we go over there.
somehow he was able to come back to Galia once, so if we find another exit, maybe if we take him with us? I don't know how to...
I mean, I guess can... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you should take a look.
I demonstrate
I
that
just like to-
we
I
can't grab him by trying to grab him. I'm just you can't grab him. I said I get him out.
Lily, feel free to make a religion check. Or arcana
Okay.
check, actually. Either one.
Can I give my mom the help action?
Yes, by standing close to her, the chaos magic can help your mother. You can, with the help action, make a religion or arcana check, either one.
Okay, I'm gonna do Arcana.
So you are aimlessly wandering around. None of these people around you are of significance to you whatsoever. None of these 7 people.
17?
You look at Bo and you think about the magic that you have inherited. And when you think about the magic you have inherited, the keyword inherited, you realize that you were given your magic by a god. You were given a clerical gift. This is the god of selflessness, the god who saw that you were doing something for somebody else. You know that you can learn powerful magic with the right amount of power to return the dead to the living. Not as souls, but as shadows living another chance at life. Return them to their bodies, to their memories in Galia. That being said, you don't currently have the ability for that magic. But if you can find a way back in Galia to get an audience with Aviv, the god who gave you your gift, maybe, just maybe, you might be able to convince him to gift you with enough magic to summon Bo back.
If I can do anything to save him, we'll have to try to figure out a way to get back as soon as possible.
No, we can't just leave him.
I can't do anything to help him here. Magic doesn't work.
I'm going to try to summon my duplicate. Let's see if he'll recognize that. Because it's a shadow.
Doesn't happen. Nothing happens.
Frick!
I'm gonna
God
reach
dang
over
it.
and take Kai's hand.
What?
Would you consider a shadow to be an element?
Nope. Elements exist in Elementa, the plane of the elements.
I was gonna try to absorb elements.
Just absorb him. Have 3 beings
See,
in
that's what
there.
we call shenanigans max.
Okay,
Shenanigans
can I
maxima.
like vacuum suck him into my body and have him like in a compartment, like in a jar?
Nope.
Ghostbusters.
These are things that I think Androva knows won't work.
Well, these are things that Morgan doesn't know will or won't work.
I know. I'm just letting you know Androva. I'm just letting you know Androva knows they don't work. I know Morgan doesn't know. I'm just saying Androva doesn't. Does.
I gotta make sure.
We go back to Galia and Lily learns this magic. Is it? I guess we can get back into Darkvoid, but we have to wait for another planar reset.
Lily, you know that if you can summon Bo with this powerful magic, you guys don't have to return to Darkvoid. Bo will come to you.
Yeah. I'll be able to grab him back here. We won't have to come back.
At this point, Alina speaks up and goes, I think I remember what I wanted to tell you all. I think I have information that could help. I need to return to the shelter. I have stuff there that will help. We need to go there. I might be able to help you with all of this.
Okay.
She looks at you, Kai, and goes, we have to leave him, but I promise you I will be giving you information to try to bring him back.
Okay. I guess like Kai is gonna hang around for like a second after everyone leaves. So I'm gonna say a couple things.
So you all hang around a little longer than Kai hangs around along, and then you leave. The silence as you all walk back is painful. It is eerie. You return past Ria's shadow. There is a brief...
I'm at the very back of the group.
Awesome. There is a brief goodbye to Ria's shadow from each of the 3 of you who know who you are. And then you all eventually make it back to the to this shelter. And she looks through some of the very limited possessions she has from before she moved here, and eventually pulls out a small slip of paper and pulls out a small slip of paper, and she pulls out a picture. She looks at the 2 of them and goes, okay. And she puts the picture away, but keeps out the paper and goes, so I remember where that key was. I have a nephew. My sister's son lives in Straya. He was a kid at the time. He's probably an adult now. I told him I wanted him to hold on to something for me for safekeeping, because we had no idea what was going to happen in the fight in the swamps of Viel, Ria and I. So we had him hold on to the key, but neither of us could go back for it. It should still be with him. Here's his name and a little image of him, and she hands the piece of paper to Dira, and then says, he I don't know his last name, but I don't remember his father's name, but his name is Eric. He plays for he wanted to play for a mage ball team, the Straya mage ball team, when he was younger, but I don't think he does anymore. I remember the Life City Rangers of Dahlia were interested in him, but then, of course, I wound up here. So maybe that's where you check. His mother, my sister, just to give you a little bit of understanding, you might be a little nervous if you know me. She had a lot of mental health struggles, and she could not take care of kids. She had 3 kids, and she had to give them all up. This is just one of them. I know that 2 of the kids were born after I came here, but I get some information sometimes. I also know There is a friend of mine in Ria's, an old friend, who is a devout priest to Aviv. I know Aviv is the god of selflessness. I'm sure Aviv will be the only person who could help you in this, if you need powerful magic.
I've gone to him before.
I should warn you, know Aviv?
Yeah.
I should warn you, my friend is a devout Ophraist, so don't mention the gods of Lair. He worships Aviv and Aviv only. He lives also in Dahlia. He lives literally right next to the tower, the closest building to the west. I'm sure he still lives there. He lived there as long as I knew him. Never moved. Never wanted to move. He owned the place. It's a small building. It's more of a house, but he refuses to let it get knocked down, or he did. If you find him, mention my name. Maybe he can help you pray to Aviv. Right. It looks like you are done here. I can't be selfish and keep you here. I can bring you to a portal back to Rivaryn. I know of one. I don't know where in Rivaryn it leads, but I know of a portal.
Can I give you something for, like, helping us?
I have very little here. I would greatly appreciate having anything.
I have a tome of Seism. I know it's not much. Do some reading.
I was never a fan of Seism, but I would appreciate it. And she takes it very gratefully. It's been an
I want
honor.
to give her my music player.
She looks at it and immediately breaks down crying and gives you the tightest hug yet. She goes, this is... Thank you.
These bands have helped me get through a lot.
She goes, I know how you feel. And if this is what you're like as a kid, I can only hope that I can inspire you to be someone like me as an adult. She can see that you are what she was as a kid, so that's where that's coming, and you can tell that's where that's coming from.
I have a lot to live up to.
She gives a smile, and then she looks over at all of you and goes, I need an hour to prepare. I have other stuff I need to do. In an hour we leave for the portal. Do whatever you need in that time. In Drova, you can take a short rest.
How does...
Yeah.
The rest of you are living beings, so you can't do that in Darkvoid. After that hour ends, she puts a pouch over her shoulder, puts the music player in it, and the book, and she leads you all down the spire in a different direction. You travel along, all of you, towards this portal, and eventually you arrive there. Before you go, she turns around and goes, I don't know exactly where this gets out, but I know from what I can tell that it's in Rivaryn. The natures of the shadows around it, these are all Rivaryn features on these shadows. I wish you all the best of luck. I wish I could do more to help you. Find my nephew. He has the key that can help you get into the tower. Find my friend who lives next to the tower. Find them, and please find your friend.
Will do.
And she steps aside, leaving the portal open for all of you.
I want to pull Adira and Lily aside before we step through. I know that a lot has happened today, and that's been more than I would have ever wanted for you girls. But I just want you to know that I love you and that I'm always here for you. even when I'm a crazy little lemur. Can I give you a hug? Is that okay?
I've grown quite fond of the crazy little lemur, so.
I like visibly start crying.
This isn't gonna be the last time we see you. We're gonna get Bo back. We're gonna get the last sapphire, the key. We're gonna make everything right.
And at the very least, you'll see her once a month on the new moon.
Hopefully, we'll be seeing her permanently.
You have that hug, and then you all walk through. The six of
I
you.
pat Adira on the back, slipping a piece of paper like into her dress or whatever she's wearing.
You don't notice it at the moment, Adira. You all step through the portal. Ivy, I'm gonna say that you are holding Adira's hand, and as you step through the portal, you all make it out the other side. Adira, you are holding the
shrink.
hands of Coco. You shrink. Adira, you are holding the hands of Coco the lemur as you all step through the portal. For a brief moment, you all find yourselves in a massive chamber with gears and rods everywhere. It's all stopped, covered in cobwebs, nothing's moving. And as you look around for that brief moment, you see a vast circular window with numbers surrounding it, facing outward, just ahead of you. Suddenly, there was a bright golden glow and a low but loud buzz. With a sudden shift, you're no longer in the chamber, but magically transported outside. It seems that was an alarm that sounded. I need everybody to roll a d6.
What? A d6.
Well, I
I
can do
got
that
a
across
3.
the room.
All right, we're gonna go one at a time. Lily, what did you roll?
4.
Adira, what did you roll?
2.
And Kai, what did you roll?
4.
And Indrova.
1.
And Ren.
3.
And Coco.
3 as well.
Cool. Let me take a second to do some math.
Oh no.
Gotta keep all my names straight.
Boy, if we all end up in different places.
Let me do some brief math. All right. I have to average out your rolls to one number.
That's not good.
Cool. The average is approximately 3. You all feel a harsh wind on you. All of you feel a harsh wind on you as you're magically transported outside from this room you were in, from this alarm, this magical alarm. As you look down, you see you are high up in the air, way over Dahlia. And the 6 of you, 3 miles above the city of Dahlia, are in a free fall. And that is where we are ending our session tonight.
Hello.
Like we're gonna be
See you
Oh
next
my
time
gosh.
on the Race for Rivaryn. Good night and good luck.
Yeah, it's called the Race for Riveryn because we're racing down towards the ground.
Rivaryn.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our episode. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe for more videos like it. If you want to stay up to date with Campaign Crusades, head over to our Instagram, TikTok, and other platforms using the links down below. I have to go, so see you later.